You know, anytime you're prepping for this Detroit River Walleye run, I like to do it a way that gives me the most fishing time when I'm out there on the river instead of recovering from breakoffs. Because, you know, as you know, there's a lot of snags out there on the Detroit River. So I thought I would share with you, many of you already do this, but maybe some of you don't. And this might save you a lot of time when you're out there on the river. If you don't already do it, it will definitely save you some time. So what we're talking about is pre-tying jigs a certain way and then storing them a certain way. So let's talk about, so I've just got a regular powder coated 1 ounce jig, and what I'm using for leader material, I like the color red, you know, and all my leaders I want to be mono. I want it to break. If something's gonna break, I want it to be the leader instead of losing my main line with my snap swivel and everything. I'll take my main line, normally a braided line, roughly 20-30 pound test. On my reel right now it's 30-pound test, and I'll put a snap swivel on the end of it, right? And I'll be able to take this and just hook it on every time I snap off. Some days it seems like you just break. Other days I don't lose any somehow. So what I do, first thing I do is I'm going to tie a polymer knot. I know when you try to zoom in on these kind of videos, you can't really see what's going on. But if you Google polymer knot, you'll see what I'm about to tie. Double up the line. I'll feed it through the eye of the 1 ounce powder coated jig, like so. This was easier about 10 years ago, wasn't it? Yeah, well, it's going to be really bad when I turn 40. So I'll just feed it through. I'll hold it on
You're
each
not
end.
40.
And
You're 63.
there it is. I'll go ahead and I'll loop it around, tuck it under, pull it through. I know, see, it's too hard to follow this while I'm doing it. I'll take the loop and I'll put the whole jig through the loop and just cinch it down. Right over that knot, very good. And trim off this excess tag end of the line. Like so. So now for the other end, I want to make a loop knot. So I'll just lower this down about the length I want. With me, it's about, I like about a 2-foot leader, whatever you're comfortable with. This red is really invisible underwater. I just like having about a 2-foot leader, so that's what I tie. So I'm holding the end of the line and my main line. What I do is I take this, in my case, I'm right-handed, so my left, I'll go away from me and turn it and form a loop. Like so. See that big old loop there? I hope you can with all this, you know, camera and stuff. I'll make it to where I could put my thumb through it, about that size. So then I'll take this taggy end of the line and I'll come around the front of my thumb and I'll make another loop and pinch it behind my fingers and hold it. So if you look at this, it's kind of a figure, it's a number 8. There's a loop there and a loop there now. I'll just take this tag end and I'll put it between the 2 loops and pinch it. I'll come from the back and I'll reach through and grab this front loop and pull it through. When I do that, something wonderful is going to happen. It'll be a loop that doesn't slip. If you do it wrong, what happens is this will, as I start pulling, it'll get smaller, and then just tie. So now I'll just cut off this excess line. That's a lot of extra line, Don. I know, I didn't measure it out well that time, but now I've got a nice little loop. So this is what I hook onto my snap swivel on my line when I break off. I've got my rig ready to go. Some people go ahead and put the wind-dot worm or swim bait on it. I don't, because maybe I've been running a certain one all morning. It's been okay, but it hasn't been great. And it's a great time to switch that out. And that really only takes a second. So now to store all these, I get one of these tackle buddies. And they hold 12, but what I've learned is they only really hold 10. The space on each end of it is where the part of this plastic is. It's really hard to bury a hook in that. So I end up using 10 instead of 12. So I just take this loop and I'll hold it down on this with my finger and I'll start wrapping. And when I wrap like this, it'll all hold itself down. It'll come down real easy, like so. And when you finally get to the end and you got your point of the hook, I just kind of tighten, I'll pull it extra tight, and I bury the hook in that rubber. There's nothing to get your hands on a hook on, but I got 10 jigs ready to fish. So when you buy these Tackle Buddies, it comes with one of these little plastic containers. 3 come in it when you buy it, but after you put the jigs on, 3 aren't gonna fit, but it will hold 2. So for me, that's 20 jigs. I don't usually ever lose 20 jigs, so this is pretty safe. Put 20 jigs in this box, close it up, and I put this in my tackle bag or just carry it out on the boat with me. And now I've got 20 jigs ready to go. When I come back in, if I've only lost a couple, I just replace those 2, put them right back in this, and I'm ready for the next outing. So I hope that this has been kind of if you haven't been doing this will definitely save you time. That's why we go to this trouble before we go out on the water, so we're not having to do this on the boat. Walleye only bite so long in the morning, right? And it's a little bit more difficult tying stuff at night. Your headlight, things are just harder at night, right? So why not pre-tie some stuff, save yourself some time the next time you're out there chasing those walleye.